And we are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering your favorite and unknown movies, games, comic books, anime, and more weekly. We appreciate you being here and hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight. We are going over a Robin Williams classic, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep. But before we do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can enjoy the show on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, Odyssey, and more. We also have membership tiers on those platforms if you'd like to support the channel, or you can check out buymeacoffee.com/KOE podcast. Alrighty. So, it's an old movie, but it's a very iconic movie of Robin Williams. One reason that I decided to cover this today is I've seen it trending, I think last week, on a small part of X for some reason. So I looked into it, and it was again, not to get into that side of the culture, but they were saying that Robin Williams in the movie was transgender for the whole thing, or a drag queen.
Yeah, drag queen, it seems more.
No. So I rewatched it because it's like, you know what? It's been a long time since I've seen it. Let's rewatch it. Let's see if your child mind didn't cloud something up, or that you didn't understand maybe. And no, the movie has nothing to do with drag. It has more of like impersonation or like an imposter, but not
Like Big Mama?
kind of, yeah. If you consider Mrs. Doubtfire that with drag, you'd have to consider Big Mama to be drag. And I don't consider either to do with that. So I'll get that out of the way first. That was
I don't know enough about drag to put any opinion, so I'm just going to listen.
Unfortunately, I've seen too much. The people, there's a few that I work with, so.
You ever see too much porn, you're just like, man, that's enough
like-
today. You ever reach the back end of the porn search bar? Like, I guess I didn't find it.
You went through every page.
Like, could you imagine going through every single page? Like page 2015.
It's like,
And then there's no 2016. You're like, oh, I made it. My God. It's like you see everything, but you watch nothing.
yeah. Yeah. God.
You just close your
You're
laptop.
just scrolling the entire time.
You close your laptop and you just sit there in the dark. Your boner slowly, your boner deflated like 3 hours ago. Now you're just trying to see if you can make it to the end. What's at the end of this rainbow?
Nothing.
Nothing but sin.
You have Jesus at the end saying, I don't know how you did that.
You know, I was reading an article in The Economist. You know, the age of consent in Japan was 13 until July or June. Now it's 16. But the age of adulthood dropped from 20 to 18. I'm real confused, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad I like older women.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, oh, I want to be like, oh, but she's. I don't want to be like that guy, like, oh, but she's legal. Be that fucking pervert.
I see.
I don't understand if the legal age of consent in Japan was 13.
Yeah.
But the adulthood age is 20. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's another thing I thought about age of consent was like, they say, look, 18 is legal here, right? So you accept 18. But if it was 13, I wouldn't accept 13.
No.
That's way too young.
I think it's one of those kind of things they just they don't do.
But that's what I'm so confused about. Their age of consent is 13, but their age of adulthood was 20. And it used to be 13 for consent. I thought age of consent and adulthood were the same thing.
No.
It's like once you reach 18,
No. Because
you're an adult and you can have sex legally.
Well, the age of consent in most states is like 16 or 17. Yeah.
I'm good.
The reason they set it up that way, supposedly, is because of a Romeo and Juliet law, which means that, like, say you're both in high school.
Okay.
So if the girl...
What if I'm like 45?
Yeah, that's... No.
Because I'm dumb as fuck.
No. That doesn't work.
Oh, but I'm a high school student.
No.
It's like, sir, you're 57 years old.
Exactly.
Damn.
But it's more of a... like, say if you had a high school couple that were a couple of years... Like, one was a sophomore, one was a senior.
Or like when seniors date the freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking perverts.
Yeah. That's basically why those laws exist. So that way,
Because in my head, right, I was like, they say if as long as it's legal and it's appropriate, like so if 18, she's legal and appropriate, right? But now that Japan is like 13, and now I'm like, maybe 18 isn't appropriate either. I gotta start banging 70-year-olds because I don't know. It really messed up my ideal of, or not my preconceived notions of what was legally. Like, they're like, so 18 is adulthood and legally sexual, right?
Yeah.
That's what I accepted because that's the law. So we all accept that. But now I'm like, if it was younger, I would not accept that. I don't even want to accept 18 anymore because of that. Yeah, damn article ruined my fucking life. Which is weird because I'm only been with older women, so it doesn't really affect me.
yeah. See, my whole thing is that whatever age you set people being able to join the military, that's the age you should be able to do anything.
Oh, that's a good point.
So drink, smoke, gamble, whatever.
So
whether that be 18, 19, 20, regardless of what it is, they should all be the same age.
I guess there's like now in my head there's like a moral, like legality. They can say like, oh, you can bang a 13-year-old. I'm like, no, I can't. Morally, that's disgusting.
Right.
I don't care what the law says.
And that's because you live in the United States.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, no, that's a good point. What if culturally in Japan they didn't care?
They didn't.
Oh no.
It's also, I don't know if it's Japan or...
I gotta become celibate and a monk because I can't do this anymore. I can't handle all this.
You had your world rock last week?
Yeah, with the fucking CNC, now CNC, and now I can't handle this age of consent. You know what? I'm not gonna have sex with anybody. I'm gonna just cut my dick off. Fuck all the noise.
Like our last episode? Where you're just gonna get it pulled off?
Oh yeah, just get ripped off. Get fucking chemically castrated and be done with it.
Ugh.
Imagine if I got chemically castrated, I'd just be writing poetry, the most profound shit everyone's ever heard, because I'm so pent up from not being able to get laid.
With no sexual desire.
Yeah, I built a fucking time machine.
And then you go back to not doing it.
Don't you cut your dick off. This shit sucks worse than I thought. I don't know, like it's really like I'm taking a step back.
Yeah.
And thinking about it like no pee touching till I figured all this stuff out. No one, I'm not, I don't know. I'm going to go celibate for like 16 years. No more porn, no more nothing until like it just really rattled my brain.
Yeah.
Like if I lived in a different culture, would I have a different mindset? That would be like,
Well, it's also...
because I feel like a morally noble person. I guess I wouldn't steal. I wouldn't harm anybody or I would, be a decent human being. But now I'm like, what if that's just like the culture over here?
Yeah.
Well, I'd be a different person somewhere. Like I could be a drug dealer in Mexico. And I wouldn't even care.
Bandito.
I could be fucking just chopping people up and throwing them over the fucking freeway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I a good person because I'm a good person or because culturally I was raised in this environment to make me a good person?
I think it's a little bit of both.
I'm devastated. Again, I'm right up to my core again. Every day, some shit happens that completely just rattles my entire sense of existence. Back to Mrs. Doubtfire.
From the tangent.
I can't help it. I can't help myself. I'm truly a man of immense mental thought, but I lack enough knowledge to know how to use it properly.
So many ideas.
So little way to articulate it.
To execute those ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, like you said, back to Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello.
We have
My cheeseburger.
we have Robin Williams, who plays a character Daniel Hillard, who is a talented unemployed actor after he quits his job.
He's not that talented if he's unemployed.
Wait, he the reason he's unemployed is because at the beginning of the movie he's doing voiceover work for a cartoon where he does the different voices for every different character and stuff like that. I think it's a take on not Tom and Jerry, Sylvester and Tweety.
Oh wow.
Where like it's it's not them, but you can see what they're trying to play as.
Oh, like a parody.
Yeah. Where it's there's a Tweety character and then a Sylvester character.
Like Roger Rabbit was supposed to be a fill-in for Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
And I guess Mickey Mouse sort of.
Yeah.
To this day, I can't help it. I'd be like, "Come on, Roger! You're not the first man to find his wife playing patty cake with another man." I don't know why. I can't get over it. I repeat that stuff to my head all the time.
But yeah, he got fired apparently at the beginning of the movie because the cartoon has the normal type of shenanigans that they're doing in those kind of cartoons, where the cat's trying to kill the bird and all that. But then the end of that scene, they're wanting him to voice over the bird as it smokes a cigarette, saying that it's a good cigarette, basically. And he starts changing it as he sees what's going on, where he's like, the cigarette is killing me. And it pisses off the people that it's like, redo that. You're supposed to say it in this way because they're sponsors. And he's like, well, if that's, fuck you. And he walks out. So he becomes unemployed. And that's how he becomes unemployed.
Man of good morals.
Because he doesn't want his kids to learn that kind of stuff. Right. So he's an unemployed actor.
I took one hit of cigarettes one time. That was it. I was like 11. I was like, that was it. Fuck all that.
The cigarettes are not fun. Nah. Cigars, not bad.
I'd probably swallow that shit too.
Yeah, but you don't breathe them all the way into your lungs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, I've been doing the same shit anyway. But I breathe them in so hard they come out my asshole. All the smoke.
Just releasing
just
smoke.
Fucking blows in my ass.
So, unemployed actor and a devoted father, loved by his 3 children. We have Matthew Lawrence that plays Chris. We have Lisa Jacob is playing a character named Lydia. And then Mara Wilson plays a little girl named Natalie.
I'm gonna name my kids Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Be like DuckTales?
Yeah, exactly.
And they say, woohoo.
Watch them all be girls. So they have normal names, right?
Yeah.
But it'll be in parentheses, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
However, his marriage to his workaholic wife, Sally Fields, that plays Miranda, is increasingly strained as the uptight Miranda has grown to dislike her husband's immature and spontaneous behavior.
Oh, baby, don't be like that. I keep it fun and light.
Like, he loves, like, that's the one thing that you see throughout the entire movie. He loves his kids.
He must be really bad and bad.
Well, she never says that. She says because he doesn't take stuff seriously.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. If the bed was banging, shit, that'd be the least of her problems.
The character Daniel, he hires a mobile petting zoo and throws a large party for his son Chris.
Oh,
despite knowing his wife would not allow it.
Oh, baby, don't be like that.
After receiving a complaint from her nosy ass neighbor at her business.
Oh, I would be fucking. Because don't you ever come into my fucking work?
Because she's like a designer for houses and stuff like that. So you see the old lady pick up the phone and call. Because it's like, oh, this motherfucker brought in.
If I can't have fun, ain't no one having no fun around here.
Exactly. So she calls and tattles on him.
Oh, she wasn't there?
No.
Wait,
he was going to have it cleaned up by the time she got home. Because he was trying to like celebrate his son's birthday.
Yeah, but the mom has to be. That's a bit of a on his part. Like, even though she had, like, you can't have a birthday party for your son and the mom, like, oh, sorry, honey. That would be fucked up.
Well, she walks in, like, there's a zoo outside.
Yeah.
The entire petting zoo. There's a cop saying, ma'am, you can't have these animals in front of your house. It's against the city ordinances and all that kind of stuff. Because they're not supposed to have, like, livestock. So he's bothering her as she's walking up to the house. And she does that kind of like freak out thing, like, what the fuck? She walks in, he's up there on a table dancing with his 2 kids where they're dancing to rap.
Jesus.
Like the old school rap, though, from the 90s. Before we got the mumble rap that we have now, where you can't understand a fucking word. This is like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type rap.
Oh. Well, what's the song? Fuck, I remember the beginning where he gets into a fight, he gets helicoptered in the beginning of the fucking theme song. Like, one little fight, and mom got scared. Like, he ends up, like the guy picks him up and like just spins him around.
Yeah.
And then they actually referenced that guy and as like a fourth wall break.
Yeah.
It's like because Will's telling him about the guy. Like, this one guy that beat me up. Like, ooh, you know the guy at the beginning of the theme song? He spins me around, and like that guy legitimately, like from the fucking view, you can tell like they sped it up, but that was really spinning him around. It was fucking hilarious.
Now, do you know the actual song to the beginning?
What?
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on a playground where I spent most of my days.
I know a little bit of it.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing on cool.
The one was like I got into one little fight. That's all I know.
Said moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air.
He gets fucking shot.
And then he whistled for a cab and went. It had dice in the mirror.
Someone's watched a lot of Fresh Prince of Bel Air more than me.
I grew up poor. It came on UPN whenever UPN still existed.
UPN. Not the mail service. Not the UPS.
No, this is the old school where it had the circle, the triangle, and the square for the logo.
UPN, us poor network. I had UPN as well.
Us poor network.
Man.
Or your poor network.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
It's like, you're poor. You watch this.
You poor network. Enjoy some Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Exactly. So, after receiving the complaint at her business from a neighbor, Miranda decides this is the last straw and demands a divorce.
Oh, baby, don't be like that.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Since Daniel has no steady source of income or home, Miranda gets primary custody of their children.
Oh, fuck.
Daniel has visitation rights limited to Saturday evenings, devastating him as he adores his children. Yeah. And that is, again, that's the whole thing of the whole movie. He loves his kids. And they don't hate him. They don't like... You know how you get a lot of those kind of like stereotypical movies where they just hate the father anyway? Like, in this movie, the kids love their dad, where it's totally different than a lot of them. The judge acknowledges this and agrees to consider a joint custody arrangement if Daniel can hold down a job and create a suitable home within 3 months.
Get to work, Daniel.
So when Daniel learns that Miranda intends to hire a housekeeper and is unwilling to let Daniel take care of his kids, he contacts Miranda by on the phone pretending to be an old lady. After he does other calls before that makes her think, who the fuck are these people out here? Where he's like, he plays the redneck lady where it's like, shut up, Cletus. Yeah, I was calling about that job that you had.
So he's basically building bad
yes.
employees so that his Mrs. Doubtfire will be the one that she picks.
Yes.
So he's a fucking sociopath.
Because he can do voices, so he does a bunch of different voices.
God, a lot of red flags I'm hearing.
He does like a Russian lady's voice where it's like, the kids, they go to bed. Where it's like, she just hangs up. She's like, nope.
Jesus.
So he contacts her pretending to be an old lady, and
Hello.
she asks him his name. So he looks at a newspaper and sees a headline containing the words "Doubtfire," because it's like a house fire or something like that, where it's like there's doubt in the fire,
like Kaiser Sose from Unusual. Just start seeing shit on the wall.
Yeah. And he says Doubtfire. Daniel uses his acting talents and enlists the help of his brother Frank, which is a makeup artist.
While going to jail.
And he's got his boyfriend there. So, like, whenever he goes up to him, he's like, make me a woman. Because he wants to be the old lady. And his brother's like, I thought you would never. So, and his partner, Jack, the guy that plays Frank, which is his brother, is Harvey Fierstein. Not Weinstein, Fierstein.
God dang Weinstein.
And his gay partner is named Jack, but he's played by Scott Capurro. I don't know if that's a famous person that you would remember or not.
No. Maybe I saw him. Some actors you just see by face.
Yeah.
But not
well,
by
his
name.
brother you would know. Like, I don't know I wouldn't know him by his name Harvey, but you would know him if you actually
if I
seen
saw
him.
him?
Yeah, easily, because he's been in a bunch of movies. But he asks them to form him into Miss Euphigenia Doubtfire.
Euphigenia.
He can't, because he's seen something that said like Euphia or something.
Oh God.
Like he just put the name together. A 60-year-old British nanny, so he himself can apply for the position. Miranda is delighted with Mrs. Doubtfire and hires her on the spot. The two quickly begin to form a friendship, despite the children struggling to adjust to their new caretaker. Daniel, as Mrs. Doubtfire, is now able to see his kids every day and uses this opportunity to be the firm father figure he wasn't before.
A firm father figure.
Yeah, because he used to be the fun dad.
The fun dad.
Yeah.
The Phil, basically.
Yeah.
to the Claire
Yes.
from Modern Family.
Yep. Eventually, the children begin to respond favorably to Mrs. Doubtfire's methods, and Miranda is able to heal her rocky relationship with them. Because she was always the one that was having to say no.
Yeah.
And even though when he had a job as a voice actor, he was still the fun parent. So he didn't have to deal with all that. She heals her rocky relationship with them and with Daniel as well, who begins to improve himself through his alter ego by learning gourmet cooking and refurnishing his new apartment.
Gourmet cooking.
Yeah, because he had to learn how to cook so that way he could be a nanny. For a while, Daniel was able to keep up the charade, despite nearly being discovered by his caseworker, Miss Selner, played by Anne Haney. And attempting to break up his ex-wife's relationship with Stuart Draymeyer, which is Pierce Bronson in the movie.
Pierce Bronson. You're not beating Pierce Bronson. James Bond.
And that's whenever the caseworker comes over to make sure that his house is clean for the children and stuff like that to come over, that's where you get that, oh, hello, with the whipped
makeup,
cream.
his face was like uncovered or something.
Yeah, where he shoved it in a cake. And it's all this frosting, and he's handing her a glass. He's like, she said, a tea with 2 cubes of sugar, and it's like it just drips off his face.
God.
He's like, oh, there's 2. Oh, one more.
Jesus.
Just dripping frosting into her tea. It's like, what the
Would there be a caseworker in a divorce like that?
to check on to make sure that everything is safe for the children. Yeah,
At the mom's
in
house?
the 90s. Yeah,
That's weird.
yeah.
Like, you just divorce. Like, you just assume both parents are capable.
But since he didn't have a job at the time,
Yeah, but it's at the mom's house, though, isn't it? So why is the
for the
caseworker...
caseworker, no, she's going over to check on.
Daniel?
Yes. So basically, what happened was whenever Daniel was going home, he was still dressed in his Mrs. Doubtfire suit.
Yeah.
So he had to go up there when, like, they met at Daniel's door, and she's like, "Oh, I'm his sister."
So he just fabricating lie after lie.
Yeah, pretty much. Just to see his kids. That's all it ever was for. So whenever they go up there into the apartment, he has to play both characters at the same time in the apartment.
Jesus. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Pretty
Like,
much.
it breaks down. I just want to see my kids.
He attempts to break up his ex-wife's relationship with Pierce Bronson, her new boyfriend.
I'm gonna do a Miss Doubtfire remake where he ends up being a fucking brutal serial killer. He just killed the caseworker, Pierce Brosnan. He just fucking. I want my children. And then like the heart, like, oh hello! Every time he kills one of them, oh hello. So his wife ends up killing him.
That would be. That'd be fucked up.
It would be fucked up. I do not have a normal brain.
No. He also realizes he has trapped himself with the Mrs. Doubtfire facade. As when he once again asks Miranda to take care of the children, she responds that she could never get rid of Mrs. Doubtfire,
You'll never get rid of me. Oh, hello.
as she has made their lives so much better. And what's funny too is that every time he goes home, he takes a bus after he leaves the house that she the kids and everything live in. He takes a bus back to his apartment that he's got, but there's this creepy ass old bus driver where he's like, "I like him the way he built like you."
That's another kill for Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, hello.
Daniel is discovered when Chris accidentally walks in on him using the restroom.
That's another murder right there.
His son.
I guess. That movie sure turned quick. I thought he wanted to see his kids.
Yeah. Well, he said, I need to go use the powder room. And he gets up.
Fucking just blows that bathroom up.
No, he's standing up pissing.
Oh, fuck. Be weird to see.
Because the door's closed.
This is Doubtfire.
So he's like, what the fuck?
You got some dick.
That's what he says. He's got everything.
Oh, God.
He then explains to Lydia and Chris that he dresses as Mrs. Doubtfire only to see them every day. Which, it's like, they're happy basically once
Yeah.
they see
Like,
that.
oh, it's you, father. Father.
He also warns them not to tell their mother, as he would likely end up jail and might never see his kids again.
Oh wow, some real fucking actual consequences. Like, I'm going to jail. You better keep your mouth shut.
And he also tells them not to tell their little sister Natalie, as she is too young to understand she might reveal the truth and tattle on him, basically.
If you tell anyone, I'll kill Ollie. Just fucking losing his shit.
Both children are happy to have their father back in their lives and agree to keep the secret. Meanwhile, at the TV station where Daniel picked up this new job, where he's boxing like film and stuff like that up as like a shipping clerk, the station CEO, Jonathan Lundy, played by Robert Prosky.
You think you could be able to get like another voice acting job? Like, it just immediately
Well, I think-
fell through the rails and just started picking up a random job.
Well, I think whenever...
They just fucking blacklisted him?
yeah, I think
Jesus.
that's what happened. The CEO sees him clowning with toy dinosaurs on the set of a children's program.
Fucking
That's
fires him.
extremely boring.
Just fucking fires the fuck out of him.
And he's impressed enough to schedule a dinner meeting with him to hear his new ideas. Because he tries to make it fun for kids instead of just, here's a brontosaurus.
What is it, Barney?
Just,
I'm Barney. How are you? That'll be a horror movie with Bonnie too. With Barney. I love you. You love me. That's the way it's gonna be. It's like, Barney, you're scaring me. Good.
so then you have Stuart. He's planning to celebrate Miranda's birthday by taking the family out to the same restaurant at the same time that he's going to be meeting the CEO. And Mrs. Doubtfire is also invited. So he's got to meet the CEO as
Shenanigans
himself.
ensue again.
Yeah, pretty much. Daniel tries to postpone his dinner with the CEO, but the CEO is booked, and Daniel realizes he cannot cancel the appointment at that point.
You gotta get that job.
Yeah. At the restaurant, Daniel attempts to rotate back and forth between the CEO and his family.
I would just lie as Mrs. Doubtfire. I tell Miranda, I got the shits.
Well, no, that's what he does as her, where he's like, "Oh, I need to go. Oh, this is making me gassy." Where he runs into the women's restroom to change back into himself.
I was the one standing behind this older man, outside of standing behind him at a half price book. It's a good distance. I'm not directly behind him, right?
Right.
And he just blew ass. Just in front of everybody.
Don't give
And
up.
no one acknowledged. No one said anything.
He don't give a fuck.
I'm standing there all traumatized. It hit me in the face. Right behind him, like,
If you had hair, it would have whipped back.
if I had hair, it'd have fallen off.
Well, it did. So it just
But that might have been what did it.
that was the day that you lost.
But man,
your hair.
that was a weird fucking, like, he just let out a fucking, and it was like a mean fart, like a fuck you. Fuck you.
So
That type of fart that you hit so hard in the toilet it ripples the water.
creates waves.
That's a fart right there.
So at the restaurant, Daniel attempts to rotate back and forth between the CEO and his family, using the restroom to change back and forth from himself to Mrs. Doubtfire, and he's getting more and more fucked up as the
Like appearances back and forth.
no, as in like he's drinking with the CEO scotch.
Oh, so he just comes back all fucked up.
And then
Oh, hello.
he also dumps cayenne pepper on Stewart's order of jambalaya, an ingredient that he's allergic to, so he starts choking.
That's fucked up. So he is a fucking serial killer.
He also becomes increasingly intoxicated throughout the evening and forgets to remove his costume before going back to the CEO tables once.
So some random old lady.
He covers for the mistake by explaining to the CEO that his alter ego is merely his idea for the new TV persona. The CEO is once again impressed and agrees to develop the character into a possible television program.
Just making
That's
that
Mr.
money.
Doubtfire. At that moment, Daniel notices that Stewart is choking on the pepper and, out of regret, administers the Heimlich maneuver. However, his mask tears off.
Wait, if he's allergic, would it matter?
Well, he just started choking on it.
Oh.
Like, I think like where his whatever he was eating, since he has an allergic reaction to it, his throat was starting to close up a little bit, so he
Jesus.
couldn't swallow the food. And he got caught.
Just fucking killing him in the process.
Yeah. So he's wearing the Mrs. Doubtfire's costume, basically, at that point. So when he goes to go do the Heimlich maneuver, he's like behind him, just
Just fucking raping his ass.
and the whole mask falls off. like the Mrs. Doubtfire mask falls off, uh, revealing his true identity. Horrified and outraged at who her housekeeper really is, Miranda storms out with her children.
I don't blame her. That's the most human reaction I've heard in the whole movie.
They
Might go to jail too, if I'm being honest.
We didn't.
You should have.
At the later court hearing, Daniel makes an impassioned plea to the judge, saying he created the disguise merely to spend time with his beloved children.
Please, I won't make it in jail. Don't make me do voices. All kinds of voices.
But the judge gives Miranda full custody of the children, while limiting Daniel to supervised visitation rights once a week, as he finds his behavior disturbing.
Thank you, Judge. A normal person. Now, this is real fucked up. I'm gonna be honest with you, Daniel.
Without Mrs. Doubtfire, the children again are withdrawn and depressed, and Miranda admits that their lives were much better with her. However, they are surprised and delighted to see Mrs. Doubtfire and the star of the CEO's new television program, Euphegina's house.
Oh, God. He couldn't change the name at least?
No. It quickly becomes the highest rated program in its time slot, creating the possibility that the show
4 a.m.
will be aired nationwide. Upon realizing how happy the children are, and she herself is, without Mrs. Doubtfire, Miranda pays Daniel a visit on the set and tells him that she doesn't want to keep hurting the children over the custody issues, and that she knows the children were much happier with Mrs. Doubtfire and therefore their father in their lives. She forgives him for his deceit, sorts things out with the courts, allows Daniel unlimited access to the children, and the two make up.
Unlimited power.
Daniel picks up the kids to spend the afternoon with them, and Miranda watches an episode of Daniel's show in which Mrs. Doubtfire answers a letter from another child of divorce asking for advice. She explains that no matter what type of living arrangement such children may have, love will always maintain the bond with the family.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
it ends in a nice way.
So they don't get back together?
No,
Surprise?
them too, no.
That's interesting.
So they stay divorced, but
Imagine if they got back together and she makes him wear the Miss Doubtfire outfit. Oh, hello.
hello.
In the bedroom, like, ugh. They feel something freaked. That's sweet. That was sort of a realistic end
Yeah,
to a ridiculous situation.
yeah. So within the entire thing, that's the reason why I say it's not drag, because he's not doing it for him. He's not even doing it as like a performance or anything like that. He's just doing it as like, this is the only way I can fucking see my kids. He's like, I don't want to do this. And then he got a show out of it. So
Making that money. Making that bank. Oh, hello. I'm here to kill you now.
hello.
He'd be break the window down instead of saying, here's Johnny. Oh, hello.
With frosting falling off his
Oh,
face.
God.
That'd be horrifying.
You guys ever heard of the Mrs. Doubtfire killings of 1993? 87 people. 87. Fucking got crazy. Be like there'd be a sequel like 20 years later where one of the kids survived. Yeah, my father was a crazy man.
So overall, it's obviously
I haven't seen. I can't believe I've never seen that movie.
yeah.
It's almost like one of those required viewings from just American pop culture.
It really is. It
Like
really
just like
is.
everyone's seen, like movies everyone's seen, like The Wizard of Oz, The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, Toy Story.
Yeah.
I've now seen Mrs. Doubtfire.
And the sad thing is that by today's standards, its runtime is extremely short. It's like an hour and a half.
1:30, huh?
Yeah, like extremely short. And they still packed all that stuff into it.
It's good storytelling.
Yeah. Now what happened to that? 'Cause half of these,
I'm starting to think that like the studio is just like kind of meddle too much in writers.
I think so too.
Like let them just write a good story.
I mean, look what happened with the Snyderverse.
Look what happened with Shazam. I bet the writer that actually like wrote Shazam
Had a decent script.
and then The Rock's like, no,
We're going to do it my way.
no, I'm The Rock, the people's champ, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. He said the whole line the whole time.
And then with all the requirements that his contract shows. And
Yeah,
stuff
like I can't lose a fight, I can't this or that.
Like,
So it'd be hard. It'd be hard to write under that constraint.
yeah, I agree.
So I won't blame writers as like
Completely.
I know but before I said like it's always the writer's fault, but it can be because they have to be good writers or they wouldn't get a job.
Unless they're doing a remake of a movie that exists.
I don't know.
Then it is the writer's fault. Because you had nothing original.
Uh,
So at that point, I'll blame him.
or whoever wrote somehow Palpatine returned. Whoever wrote that one, whoever wrote that line,
Whoever wrote the Star Wars movies, the last ones, oh my god. Like, you could have followed the fucking Star Wars books.
don't try it, Anakin. Have the high ground. I love the prequels.
Yeah, and the sad thing
You
is,
know what? Like, I guess the first one, The Force Awakens, and then the second one was what was it called? The Last Jedi.
I think so.
Yeah, the third one. The third one was called The Rise of the Skywalker. They had a completely different story from the second one to the third one was unbelievably different, and someone like just tore it apart.
I think from the very first one they did.
Like apparently there was gonna be like a Sith entity that was so powerful that Kylo Ren was gonna run into on some desolate planet. It was like an entity of the Sith from like aeons ago. And then he was going to have like a shadow fight with Darth Vader. There was going to be a fight on Coruscant. Rey was going to get like a double blade sword. Like it was going to be a staff, right? But with two lightsabers on either end. Like they completely threw that away and just put Palpatine. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, it was all a nightmare. The way they killed Luke.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Like, they gave him, like, seriously, he's the last Jedi. He's supposed to be like the strongest Jedi. And then they just kind of threw him off.
Fucking has a stroke in some distant planet and passes out.
Yeah, it was just stupid. Like I said, if they would have followed the books that were written after the movies, those chapter books, there was so much they could have used from that. Like, you don't have to follow the line perfectly or anything, but since they become non-canon, I think, right?
They're called Legacy.
Yeah.
Or Legends. Star Wars Legends. Anything that's non-canon is called Legends.
But they were good. Like, there was like the Force Ghosts of Vader later on.
A Vader ghost instead of Anakin?
Yeah. Well, Anakin, like where he was without the Vader stuff.
What's up? I'm handsome till Obi-Wan chopped my fucking shit off.
So like you had Force Ghosts and stuff like that, but I don't know, like there was just more lore.
Glad I'm not a Star Wars fan. That
After I seen that they made those non-canon, it's like, well, fuck it all.
I was like, well,
And I never really followed Star Wars.
Doesn't affect me that much.
Right.
As long as they can make Obi-Wan Kenobi the beast that he is.
Oh god.
Hello there.
He sucked at that shit in that movie, the TV show.
Oh, he was great.
He was horrible.
Hello there.
Explain to me how he lost all his fucking powers.
Guilt.
That's not gonna fucking some kind of bullshit. Like the worst. Like it's with Captain Marvel, where it's like it's this thing where she can't use her full powers, and then all of a sudden she can.
Also guilt.
Stupid.
I don't know.
Like, at least come up with a good reason. It's in their mind.
Well, what if he was just addicted to cocaine?
That would have been better. That would have been a reason.
Yeah, he had a whole episode of him fucking detoxing. Oh god, like his movie from what was it called? Train Spotting, where the actor that played Ewan McGregor played a drug addict in that movie.
Yeah,
he had a detox. He was fucked up in that detox. Seeing a baby crawl up on the fucking ceiling, screaming at him, and he's just like fucking sweating. He's fucking dead. He's just fucking falling apart. Just have Obi-Wan Kenobi detox. They come back and beat up Darth Vader.
But
well, I don't have Disney Plus because shit's getting expensive, especially Hulu. $18 Hulu. You're not Netflix.
You're not even worth it. Like,
you're not worth $18.
You're not worth 10.
I'll give you 8 at the most for the. Give me the ads.
I'll take the fucking ads. What I hated about Hulu is that even if you did pay for the premium version with the no ads, there were still shows that had
their own ads. Yeah,
it's like
I mean, like Tubi has shown no one gives a shit.
No, about
for ads. That shit is free.
Yeah,
I'll watch it 15 ads if I have to.
And well, they're like a minute, so they're still shorter than what you would see on like regular broadcast TV.
Yeah, their ads are fucking horrendous,
and they're like 5 minutes long.
So like my favorite late night talk show, Late Night with Craig Ferguson, the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. Was I looked at the runtime on Wikipedia? It's like 39 minutes,
right?
But the show's an hour, so it's like 21 minutes.
20 minutes
of ads.
Yes,
holy shit.
That's how every broadcast TV. That's how every show was. So like Stargate was an hour show, but it wasn't
an hour show.
It was 40 minutes,
right?
And that was the like standard for a really long time.
And they would push for hour shows just to add more ads.
Yes.
Oh man, streaming services they're getting expensive, and
They're ridiculous.
There's not enough quality to justify the quantity of the amount. The money.
No, not at all. Hey, you can at least watch Mrs. Doubtfire on Tubi.
Or you can watch Ahsoka on. Man, there's something about Rosario Dawson. Never mind. I gotta go back to being celibate. Never mind. I gotta let all those sins out of my fucking brain till I can figure out this weird like thing going on in my head. Watch me fucking ascend. Well, like I'm just standing here like, oh, and I just fucking disappear. You'd be like, what? Oh,
well, if you guys listened to our last episode on Wednesday, you would have heard Noe learn a new word.
Another fucking full-on meltdown.
You would have heard a new word that he learned.
Entire fucking phase, or like kink that I cannot accept. I will not accept it. That is not an appropriate kink for anybody. I don't give a shit what you say. If it's consent, I don't get. Shut the fuck up.
Anything else to add before we head out?
It's like my brain is like too big for my head now. Slowly unraveling at the seams. It's like a string holding me from the depths of madness.
We'll see you guys on the next one.